Hey fam, it's your girl Keisha, and I am here with my all tea, all shade Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, episode 1 review. The peaches are back, but did they deliver? We're about to get into my recap of the season premiere episode. Are y'all ready? This won't be a long one, so get your dinner, get you a drink, get you a lush. If that's what you own, you know what I'm saying? Put on your pajamas, get on the couch, get into bed, and sit back and relax, and let's get into this tea, okay? So, the episode begins with Porsha and her sob story, which we could give up about, okay? Then we go to Shamia, who was by far the breakout star of this episode. I said in my Real Housewives of Atlanta video that I dropped yesterday, where I gave y'all the behind the scenes tea about the season premiere party that they had in Atlanta Friday. I said that I couldn't wait to get to know more about Shamia, and Shamia did not disappoint. I am so shocked that this is what we have been missing for all of these years. Instead of making Marlo a peach, they should have been made Shamia a peach holder. Shamia came in this episode with so much personality. She was a joy to watch. She lit up the screen. I really, truly enjoyed her. We find out that her house is worth $9 million. It was like the second highest or the first highest sold mansion or something like that in Atlanta. She is having her first party at her home, which will be her B-Day party. She has 2 daughters with her husband, and her youngest baby by the name of Shiloh was born prematurely via a surrogate and has had numerous surgeries, was in the NICU, and she wants more children. She wants more kids. And we get to see her family, and her home is absolutely beautiful. That living room, ma'am, I thought I had high ceilings, girl. Her ceilings shitted on my ceilings, okay? That house was gorgeous. She got an elevator in that B and everything, right? Her and her husband Gerald been together for 10 years. And she says that the night that they met and kicked it, she stayed over and actually dropped a deuce in his toilet. She said that her booty hole was in there beatboxing, okay? It was but he still wanted to see her. She said the next day or the next time she came over there, he had wipes for her and everything. And in her confessional, she gonna talk about, so ladies, Ish in his bathroom, mark your territory. And I holler. She said, that man love me. And I was like, he really do. He really do love you, okay? Child, that was funny. I loved her intro. So then we go to Drew. And Drew is seen outside playing with her kids. She goes indoors. She got a chef there cooking up something to eat. And we learn that, her and Ralph have been going through their divorce now for a year because they can't agree on anything. Kenya and Brooklyn come over, and she tells Kenya how Ralph was court ordered to move to the basement, and she can't go down there unless he gives her permission to come down. Like, he got his own entryway into the house, and like, it's like a few days out of the month she has to leave the house. Girl, it's so much. This is why I don't want to get married. I used to want to be married down, but no. No, like, all of this is too much. I want to be able to leave or make you leave when I am done. Like, all the paperwork and you got to get permission and all. Girl, I ain't got time for all that. Like, no thank you, no bueno, okay? So they sit down and have lunch, and Drew tells her that, she is working on new music and she's working with Dennis. And Kenya was like, Dennis, Porsha Dennis? And she was like, yeah, And Kenya looking like, I thought he was the hot dog man. Like, what the fuck is going on? So she was like, yeah, music is one of his passions. He's been doing this for a long time. And she says that Dennis told her that Porsha was okay with them working with each other. And that when, she was going through really hard times with this divorce and in tears and everything, that Dennis was her saving grace. And Kenya looking like, that's what you call on Jesus for. Not Dennis. Like, so Kenya begged the question, well, since he is this producer all of a sudden, why he ain't never produced no songs for Porsha? Because remember, she tried to have that little singing career back in the mid 2000s. And she was like, well, I don't know. I think he just, really got into music here lately. But King was like, I thought you said that this has been a passion of his. Like, this is why you need somebody like Kenya on the show, because she's going to ask the necessary questions to move these storylines along. And we saw her working her magic when she was in the episode. And this is why OGs are necessary for these shows. But we'll talk more about that later on. And now, as far as Drew working with Dennis, I think that personally she should have went to Porsha to say, hey, I'm doing music. Your baby daddy say he doing music. He wants to help me out. Are you comfortable with me working with him? Simple question. Now, if she say no, and you decide that you want to continue on working with him, then that y'all cross that bridge when you cross it. But at least the fact that you showed her enough respect to go to her and talk to her one-on-one is what you should have did. It shouldn't have just been Dennis supposedly talking to her about it, because from what we saw in tonight's episode, it didn't seem like that had happened. But you know how Porsha liked to play games, so you just never know. So we are then introduced to Kelly, who is the chicken and waffles lady. So we got the hot dog man and the waffle lady. And her and her family are at this beautiful restaurant celebrating her oldest daughter, Chloe's 17th birthday. She has 4 daughters. Her oldest is from a previous relationship, and her other 3 are from her soon-to-be ex-husband. In that 3 is a set of twin girls. And she says that she and her ex have been going through a 2.5-year divorce. And they were business partners and all of this stuff. I did a video on her last year where we discussed all of the behind the scenes tea that was going on with her and that divorce child, because it got messy. And she even admitted, police been called. It's been a lot. She even kind of low key hinted to a schmooze. She says that the 3 girls can't see their dad because he threatened her. It's messy, okay? It's real messy, okay? She gifts her daughter with 17 gifts for her 17th birthday. The daughter got a Balmain purse, I think a Givenchy. She got a Chanel bag. I think she got a Prada one. Like, I was like, girl, can it be my birthday? Can it please be my birthday, man? Okay. I like the opulence of it all. I loved it. Like, this is what Atlanta is supposed to be giving. Okay. Porsha visits her lawyer, cries about the divorce, lies, wants sympathy. Do we give a fuck? No, we don't. I could give a fuck. We're not going to even talk about it. Anywho, so then we go to Brittany, Edie, and she talks about how her ring just got upgraded from 7 carats to 10 carats, okay? And the ring was bling blowing. I will give that to her. She and Kelly are friends with one another, and they link up with Shamia to have drinks for her birthday. And Shamia tells them about her birthday party, and she's inviting everybody, including Porsha. And she was like, I feel so bad for my friend. She's going through it right now with this divorce. And Kelly was like, she probably shouldn't have taken that girl's man. And I was like, well, you better speak the truth and shame the devil, you little pint-sized devil, you, okay? So Shamia went into protective mode and was like, basically like you don't believe everything you read in the blogs, and she reached out to both of them when they announced their divorce to check on them. And Brittany was like, I'm not gonna reach out to somebody's husband. And I was like, I'm gonna ride with you when you're right, Britt. Okay, because it was given very much sneaky and suspect. Your friend is a hoe, Shamia. Your friend is a hoe. She's a hoe. You know she's a hoe. She fucked 3 after every show. Like, girl, she a hoe. Let her ride and bask in her wholeness, okay? Stop trying to stick up for that lady, okay? So, they then get to talking about Dennis. And Britt says that she heard that Drew and Dennis might be dating on the low. And Shamia was like, well, I heard that they were booed up in the club, like holding hands and everything. So Kelly then says, girl, Dennis was in my DMs talking about ain't no way you'd have had 4 kids looking like that. Britt then says that she and Dennis went on a date back in the day and that he showed up to the date with a diamond necklace for her. And I said, so Dennis didn't got around Atlanta, okay? He didn't got around. Ew, gross. Blech. So that then goes into the conversation of Shamia being like, oh, so you was that girl. And she was like, oh, yes. She was like, girl, I was doing music videos. I was a video vixen in high school. I was in high school doing men's magazines and stuff. And she like proudly bragging on that. And I'm like, did nobody catch her saying that this was while she was in high school? That she doing men's magazines? Where was your parents? Like, what is huh? Like, ma'am. Now the video thing, okay, depending on the video, because she could have just been a love interest, but I'm assuming that's not what it was. It's given that she was in there popping and locking and dropping it down low. But I'm trying to figure out, how is a teenager in men's magazines? Because we already know what the men's magazines is giving. They're going to be in something very scantily clad, a bikini or something. It's very schmexualized, okay? So I'm looking at her like, so what Kenya was saying about you was true. Okay. All right. What I did love about this scene, though, it was really cute to see the girls out having drinks, looking good, got their hair done, makeup done, outfits and all of that. Because to be honest with you, over the last 5-6 seasons of Atlanta, the girls had gotten lazy. They were showing up to scenes with their hair in a ponytail, regular schmegular outfits. They weren't really putting in no like work as far as their looks and stuff is concerned. So I do like that with these new girls, they're showing up and showing out with the fashions. I will give them that. So then this is where the episode went left for me. And it was given VH1 because we see Porsha walking into a strip club in her Versace outfit, head to toe, purse. I love that. And she's meeting up with Shamia in the middle of the day at a strip club. And I'm like, I understand that's a part of Atlanta culture and all of that. And it's like normal. But like, this is supposed to be Housewives. It's supposed to be, what's the word I'm looking for? It's supposed to be a level of richness and, superiority and class to the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, that blew me. That blew me. It just took me out of it. It took me out of Housewives and it took me over to VH1 or Zeus. And that's not what Bravo is supposed to give. Like, we look at Bravo content like it's the upper echelon of reality television, right? And that wasn't given that at all. Like, it was like, why? Y'all couldn't have had this same scene at Shamia's house, in the park, at the zoo, something, at the strip club. And especially if they was going to be having drinks, why y'all couldn't go to a nice bar? You know what I'm saying? Like, So they sit down and they talk. And Shamia tells her that Simon texts her, and she shows her the text. And Porsha reads the text and sees that she responded calling him bro. She was like, he is not your bro. Like, we don't fuck with him like that. Like, we gonna cut that off real quick. She was like, okay, I got you. So Shamia then proceeds to tell her what Kelly said when they met up about, maybe she shouldn't have slept with that lady husband or taking that lady husband. And Porsha was like, excuse me? Like, who? Like, really? And she was like, girl, she just trying to promote her chicken shack. Which was funny. I will give her that. But if you remember during that time, it bothered her because when she did her Amazon Live, she brought it up. And this was back in the late spring, early summer. And she talked about, what was going on, because this was right in the beginning of filming. Like, they had only been filming like a week or two at this point. And she talked about Kelly coming for her on her Amazon Live. And Shamia was like, I heard Drew and Dennis been hanging out a lot. And Porsha was like, yeah, for her birthday. Like, I know. And Shamia was like, yeah, girl, it wasn't just for her birthday. And Porsha like, oh, really? Okay, I didn't know this was going on. So she's shocked by this and like, okay, so it's just one thing after another with these heifers. Okay. She kept her game face on, but now she, is on her P's and Q's with what's going on, right? So it's the day of Shamia's birthday party. And she has Kelly come over a little early. Mind you, her party started at 6:00, right? It's at her home, and Kelly comes over early, and they sit down, and Shamia tells Kelly that she felt uncomfortable about her comment about Porsha. And she was like, I just want to let you know that I told her. And she was like, oh, I figured that, because she was talking about it on, Amazon Live. And Kelly says that she went through infidelity herself. And Shamia was like, oh, so that's why you reacted the way that you did. Okay, it makes sense to me now. I want to point out too that Porsha didn't know that Dennis and Drew were working together in the studio making beats. Shout out to Nene. So producers asked Shamia in her confessional, what does her husband do for a living? And she was like, he installs HVACs in like airports and stuff. She was like, yeah, like that's how he gets his money. Okay. And it's a lot of money and stuff like that. So kudos to him. So the party gets to rolling. Cynthia arrives looking a mess. I don't know what was going on with that wig and them choppy bangs, but Cynthia just look a mess here lately. Like, I don't know what's going on with Cynthia. Like, she looks so... I don't like it. Angela and her husband, Charles Oakley, arrive, and she talking about how she hot, and he was like, because you got on that makeup, all that makeup on. I was like, look at her, Frederick Douglass. Calm down. What you expect her to come on here looking a mess? Like, come on. This is her first time being on camera. Like, chill. So then Kelly sits down with Cynthia and tells her about the talk that she had with Shamia. And she, she coming in hot when it comes to the Porsha conversation. And Cynthia kind of like, oh, okay. Like, I see where you stand with all this. Okay. So then Britt and her husband arrive. And he gives me drunk little scammer street dude like vibes. Like, know about him. So, Drew then arrives. And I really liked Drew's French roll at first. But as time went on, it was like minute by minute, it became disheveled and it started to unravel, and it looked like she just wanted to pull it off. Like, I didn't really care for that denim outfit she had on. It just didn't work. But Drew arrives, and as the ladies are mingling and talking, Angela goes over to Charles, and he was like, you need to go check that the gluten popped, girl. Your wig is melting off. So she excuses herself to go in the bathroom and go fix her wig, child, because it is sliding all over the place. And I was like, I appreciate the fact that he kept it 100 with her and told her that her wig was coming up. But yo, that was funny. You could tell she was like a little bit low key embarrassed, right? So Kenya arrives and she gets the party started. And this is why, once again, you need OGs on shows like this, because they know how to push story. They know how to push conflict and drama and get people talking, right? Soon as Kenya walked in, she walks in and she speaks to the ladies. And it was Drew standing there, Cynthia, Britt, and then Kelly. So when she came in, she gave Drew a little air kiss hug. She gave Cynthia a little air kiss, little hug, and she looked at Britt and said hi. And then she looked at old girl and said hi, and then she, stood back. As soon as she didn't greet Britt with a air kiss or a hug, Britt face changed, and she was looking at her like, oh, you ain't gonna hug me? And I was writing my notes and I said, that's the moment where this whole beef started between them. It's because Kenya did not hug her and didn't greet her the way that she thought she should be greeted. She had been waiting for Kenya to come. It's obvious that like she admired her and like she wanted her approval or her friendship or whatever. And when I guess Kenya didn't fawn over her, it was given like, how dare you? Like, excuse you? Go back and look at the scene. Go back and look at the scene. Her whole face changed when Kenya didn't air kiss her or hug her. She spoke to her, said hi, and she did not like that. She did not like that at all. It was given very pressed, okay? So, Britt points out at this point, she was like, oh, so all y'all getting a divorce. It's like 5 people divorced here, right? Shade. And Kenya clocked it. And Kenya said, oh, you're married? And she was like, yeah, I'm married. Like, she was like, you don't see this ring? Because, she loved the fact that she got this 10-carat ring, honey. Like, ah. And Kenya was like, oh, because you don't have your other ring on. Most times when women are married, they have their wedding band on and their engagement ring. She just had the engagement ring on, right? And she was like, oh, no, I'm married. Like, you don't see this ring? Like, So, Kenya, kind of laughed or whatever. And she didn't like that Kenya clocked her shade and gave her back shade. Like, yeah, girl, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Like, you playing in the big leagues now, okay? She wasn't ready for it. So Shamia finally makes her debut. She comes out in this blue dress. Mind you, it's a white party, so she stands out amongst all of the white ensembles. But her bestie, Porsha, is not there. She's not there. I think at this point it's like 7 something or whatever. Party been going on for at least an hour or two. And Porsha is nowhere to be found. Britt is pissed. Okay, she feeling some type of way, and she tell Kelly and her husband, Kenya was a little standoffish. Like, why are you so worried about my wedding band? You don't see this rock? Well, honey, why are you so worried about who's divorced and who's married? Like, you trying to clock everybody and like all y'all divorced and I'm the only one married? Like, girl, like, you a little pup in this circle, okay? You don't want it with Big Kenya, okay? And you got what you gave, all right? And she wasn't standoffish. She spoke to you. You just was mad that she didn't speak to you the way you wanted her to speak to you, okay? So, Shamia's husband surprises her with a Rolls Royce Cullen. And I was like, yes! That's like a $400,000 car. And as soon as she's basking over her car, Porsha arrives and, she greets her or whatever. And she's like, look at my best friend car. Y'all know how we do. Like, girl, you late. Let me have my shine in my moment. Girl, move. Gone. So, Shamia is obviously upset that she's late. And I would be too. Like, you my best friend. Heifer, you know what time you supposed to be here. Why are you 2 hours late? like make it make sense. She always does Shamia like this though. It's like what Shamia got going on, it's just like, I'll get to it when I feel like it, if I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? She's treated Shamia like this for years, and I understand that they've been friends since they was little girls, but like you have to teach people how to treat you. And to me, Shamia and Porsha's friendship is very much surrounded and based on Porsha. Porsha is the star of the show, and Shamia is like her little sidekick, and that's how she treats their dynamic. And this episode showed me that Porsha is jealous of Shamia's lifestyle. We saw that years ago when she married the African and how she played her with the whole wedding situation and everything. She's jealous that Shamia has surpassed her. It gives me very much she hangs around Shamia and she, has continued this friendship because she thinks that she's better than Shamia. And Shamia has outdone her in singing, in her entertainment career, in her marriage, in her finances, and everything. And it's giving me, that's why she married Simon, because she thought she was about to be on that level, and it didn't work out the way that she thought it was going to work out. Okay, she trying to compete with Shamia. She trying to one up Shamia, and it's not working because it's not coming from a genuine place. It's coming from a place of jealousy and envy. And I'm better than you, and how dare you live a better lifestyle than me. Shamia girl. Okay. So they go upstairs so Shamia can change her outfit, and they're in the room, and Porsha closes the door behind her, but of course they're still mic'd up, and she was like, girl, my bad about being late. It was traffic. And Shamia was like, okay. Like she was pissed. She had an attitude, but it's like, girl, I'm not about to let you ruin my night. Okay. So back downstairs at the party, Cynthia and Kenya sit down and talk. And Cynthia tells Kenya what Kelly said about Porsha. And Kenya tells her, hide your husband, hide your wife. She's like, I'm just playing, but for real, for real. So then everybody's having a good time. And at one point, Kenya was in like the kitchen area, and Britt stops her and was like, Kenya, can I get a hug? Because I saw how you greeted me. And Kenya was like, how I greet you? Like, what'd I do? And she was like, because you didn't give me a hug. And she was like, did I hug anyone? And she was like, who, Cynthia? I mean, that's my best friend. Like, of course I'm going to hug my best friend. And so I'm like, girl, ain't no way in hell I'm about to be asking no chick, can you give me a hug? Because I ain't like the way you greeted me. Girl, it's giving fan. It's giving stan. It's giving you want to be me and live in my skin. Like, what are you doing? But you know what? This is how much of a pro Kenya is, because she was like, oh, y'all about to be some little troublemakers, you and Kelly, because Kelly was standing right there. She was like, come on, let's go talk. And so Britt in her mind thinking that she about to have this one-on-one conversation with Kenya about the way that she greeted her. And Kenya fooled her, set both of them down, paid Britt dust, turned to Kelly and was like, so what's going on with this whole Porsha situation? Like, girl, what you say? Once again, my girl is new to true to this, not new to this. Girl, she paid Britt dust. Okay? Because you coming in trying to come from the big dog. Kelly coming in trying to come for Porsha. Like, y'all, we have seen this recipe over and over and over again. And Kenya knew how to play you, because it's given very much you want to be Kenya's friend. Okay? You want to be Kenya's friend. I don't know if you want to be like her, but it's given thirsty. Okay? It's giving you want to be her friend. You want to, and it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. So you tried to be funny, and you keep on losing because she keep on playing you, because she's been at this longer than you. Okay? So, Kenya asked Kelly why she was upset that Shamia told Porsha what she said, as Porsha comes over and joins the conversation on the couch. It was obvious that a producer told her, get over there. They're talking about you. So Porsha comes over and speaks to everybody, and she still greets Kelly. she was like, hi, how you doing? Give her a little hug, you know what I'm saying? Showing that, I know who you are and I know what you said or whatever, but I'm still gonna greet you with class and, whatever. So Kelly was like, let's just get right to it. She was like, so my question was, why she take that woman's husband? One thing about it, even though Kelly is coming for Porsha, I don't mind it because somebody gotta do it. Okay. And I don't mind it that it's a newbies that's doing it, because we, the public, have been waiting the last 2 years for her to be called out on her bullshit. So for me, it's like, get her. Okay. Get her. So Porsha was like, wait, what is your name again? That's how you get to know somebody? And Kelly was like, but you didn't answer the question though. And you know my name because you were just talking about me on your Amazon Live. Like, girl, we're not about to do this. And Porsha was like, I don't want to talk to you no more. I don't even know you. And then she looks at Britt and was like, this your friend? And Britt was like, yeah. She was like, like, if this season would have went differently and Kenya wasn't suspended or whatever the case may be, her and Porsha could have ran this shit together and went up against them hoes and been a duo. Like, it could have gave us a great season of them backing each other up and going against Kelly and Britt together. Because, honey, they're not ready for them. They're just simply not. But Drew was like, what's going on? Because I can't really hear because, it's loud as all these people. So they decided to go upstairs into Shamia's like sitting room, which was gorgeous. Those sectionals were beautiful. So they get upstairs and Shamia mentions how she wasn't invited to Drew's birthday party. And Drew was like, I didn't invite anybody. No, did she say she didn't invite anybody, or I forgot. I think she said she didn't invite anybody. And that, like, what did she say? Did Porsha say she was invited? She was like, I invited Porsha. And Porsha was like, no, I was invited by Dennis. And so who asked her? I think it might have been Kenya that asked her, like, are you and Dennis messing around? Like, what's the tea? And then it goes off. And I said, child, this is why Kenya was needed, because Kenya is going to ask the questions that need to be asked. She got the ball rolling as soon as she got there. Okay, she came to clock in and do her job. All right. So it's really leaving me to wonder, like, how is this season going to go once Kenya exit stage left? And I mean, based on the reports that we saw, it didn't go well at all. That's why they had to usher Phaedra in the last 2 weeks of filming. Before I give my grade of the season premiere episode, I'm going to tell you what I loved about the season premiere episode in this reboot. I love Shamia. I think that Shamia is the central nucleus of these women because she does have a relationship with all of them. I think that she really carried this episode well. It was really good getting to know her outside of just being a friend of and being Porsha's friend. Because in the past, Shamia has gotten on my goddamn nerves. She really honestly has. And hopefully she goes into this season with trying to have a mind of her own and not following in behind Porsha and solidifying herself as her own entity in person. And I need for her to stop defending Porsha all the time. I really honestly do. I loved the opulence of it all. We haven't had this type of grandness from Atlanta in years. Okay. I love that we were introduced on the first episode to this expensive party and the car, and then you see Kelly gifting her daughter with all of these purses, and at this beautiful restaurant you see Britt with the 10-carat ring. Like, the new girls are really bringing back the grandiose feel of the Housewives to Atlanta, because that's something that has been missing for years. I loved that. I also loved the backstory that we got from Kelly, that we got from Shamia. I'm really loving some of these backstories that are going to play out this season. Now, what I did not like about this episode was the strip club. I felt like it took us back 10 steps. It was so not necessary. Porsha being a bad friend, it's like more of the same. She's a horrible friend to Shamia. Horrible, horrible friend. I didn't like Kenya being edited out and down on this episode, because we all know that she did film for at least about a good month or so before the incident happened. So I hate that they used her sparingly, because when she did show up, look at what we got. Look at what we got. Everybody online was really rooting for Kenya and saying wonderful things about how she showed up to work, how she got the ball rolling. A lot of people were upset with the fact that she didn't have any confessionals. I agree with that, because her perspective is really needed, especially with her and the Brit situation. We're getting to see Brit's side of the situation, but we're not getting to see Kenya's. Now, I personally don't think that she wasn't asked to do confessionals. I think that she probably was asked, and I think that she opted not to, just like she opted not to come back to film that season. So I think it was a Kenya decision not to do confessionals, right? And then lastly, what I hated about this episode was Brit's nasal passage. Ma'am, if you don't go and get that thing opened up, because you constantly sound like you are stopped up and you're not sick. I thought it was just, remember months ago, I brought to you guys that interview that her and her husband did with that one podcaster, and she was on there sounding all nasally and stopped up. And so we all assumed that she did the interview sick. No, that's because her nose job, her nasal folds or whatever is too tight or something. Like, she constantly is talking through just her throat, and she can't breathe through her mouth. I need for you to go get that fixed, my love, because that is not that deal. Okay, you can be running around here acting like you that girl and you can barely breathe. Like, she was giving me, I need to get one of them little things that you put up a baby nose. Like, no. I am, however, going to give this season premiere episode of Atlanta an A. I'm going to give it an A. I'm going to give it an A. I think they are starting off with a bang, and we're going to see how it goes once Kenya leaves. We're going to see how this season goes, but I think that these new ladies are a good addition to the show. I know I've even said it, and a lot of other people have said it, that the way the show has been promoted with the promo pictures and stuff kind of declassed the show, and I do stand on that. I saw a lot of people online saying that they weren't really feeling Brit and Edie, and that they were taking the show down because they was giving more love and hip hop. But what I want people to understand is that is Atlanta. These are the type of housewives that you're going to find in Atlanta. This is that culture. This is how they dress. This is how the way they look. This is the way that they talk. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind that. It's the way that some of these things are being produced and put out there that is declassing the franchise, if you must. You know what I'm saying? I really did like the little bit that we did get of Angela. I think on next week's episode, we'll probably get to know more about her. And we needed somebody in a little bit of an older age bracket, you know, even though, you know, Porsha, Shamia, Kenya, Angela, Cynthia, these are women of a particular age. Now, I don't know how old Kelly and Brit are. They look like they probably in their 30s, late 30s or whatever. But I think that she's a good addition to the show. I can't wait to learn more about her. But I think that the season premiere was solid. You know, it was solid for the most part. So we going to see how it plays out. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all thought about the season premiere episode. Are y'all feeling it or y'all not feeling it? Let's talk about it. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.